Many people often ask how it is I became acquainted with the great Sherlock Holmes. To be honest, I wish I had some tale to spin about fate or mysterious circumstance. However, the thing that led me to 221B Baker Street was not the yearning for crime solving, not the sense of macabre or adventure, but the financial status of a military doctor back home in London. The only mystery, it seems, was to find comfortable lodgings at an affordable price. Hello, I'm here about the flat.
Oh, yes, certainly. Well, welcome to 221B Baker Street.
Ah, thank you.
May I take your coat?
Yes, Mrs.
Hudson, I'm the landlady.
Thank you. Pleasure to meet you, ma'am. Dr. John Watson.
Oh, a doctor.
Ah, yes. The ad in the paper said that there'd be a flatmate, a Sherlock Holmes. Is he present?
Sherlock is in the other room right now. Now, you're welcome to go in there if you like and introduce yourself.
Huh. You won't join me?
I try not to go in there unless I have to.
Ah. Hello, I'm looking for a Sherlock Holmes.
Military service.
What?
You were a soldier, judging from your defensive stance. The way you reached for your cane is a weapon while most would duck and cower. You, on the other hand, are defensive. Now, I would say infantryman, but no, not you, you're a doctor. Your suit and body language reveal you are an educated man. That, plus the previous deduction, reveal military doctor. You've been through hardship and sickness, I imagine, based on the haggard look of your face. Discharge, judging from the wound to your left shoulder. You hold it in the most unnatural way. Afghanistan.
How did you part? Who are you?
Sherlock Holmes. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
You're a woman.
Perfectly sound analysis.
Please forgive me. My name is Dr. John Watson.
Good morning, Doctor.
So you think I went to Afghanistan?
I know you went to Afghanistan. Your face is darker, you've been under harsh amounts of heat, whereas your natural tint is much paler as indicated by your wrists. So, put two and two together, where would an English military doctor face blazing heat, hardship, and gunfire? Could be none other than Afghanistan, let alone the bad memories behind those eyes.
God. That's bloody brilliant.
I bet you say that to all the girls, Doctor.
Please forgive me for that whole you're a woman thing.
You're sorry I'm a woman.
No, that's what I meant to say.
Don't worry, Doctor, I'm used to hearing such things.
Well, I apologize regardless. Are you a medical student?
No. I overheard you're interested in the flat.
Yes, actually. I much prefer a flatmate than living alone.
Yes, I completely understand. Having a companion makes things much more interesting. Much more interesting than talking to myself.
You talk to yourself a lot.
I like you, Watson. And to be honest, I'm quite delighted you've taken an interest in rooming with me, regardless of what Mrs. Hudson would call my antisocial behavior.
Yes, well, don't fire a gun inside and, well, you know, you have my curiosity, that is for sure. But what exactly is it that you do?
If we're to live together, I suppose I should go over my shortcomings. You don't mind the smell of tobacco, I hope.
Always smoke ships myself.
Yes, I can smell it. I generally have chemicals about and occasionally do experiments. Would that annoy you?
By no means.
Let's see, what else? I get in the dumps at times and I won't open my mouth for days on end. You must not think I'm sulky when I do this. Just let me alone and I'll soon be right. Let's see, what have you to confess now? It's just as well for two flatmates to know the worst in one another before they begin to live together.
Well, I keep a bullpup. I absolutely object to rows as my nerves are completely shaken. Let's see, I get up at all kinds of ungodly hours. And I suppose I'm extremely lazy. I have a whole other set of vices when I'm well, but Those are the principal ones at present.
Do you include violin playing in your category of rows?
Depends on the player. A good one can be a treat to the gods. A bad one.
Say no more. I think we may consider the thing as settled. That is, if the rooms are agreeable to you.
Well, I'd love a tour.
By all means. We're about to receive a message.
What?
It takes approximately 8 steps to get from the front door into this room. Judging from the speed and weight of those footsteps, it must have been a child with much enthusiasm. It must have been Wiggins.
How did you know?
Would you mind reading this for me? I'm aching for my pipe.
My dear Sherlock Holmes, there has been a bad business during the night at 3 Lauriston Gardens. If you could come round to the house any time before 12, you will find me there, and would esteem it a great kindness if you would favour me with your opinion. Yours faithfully, Tobias Grayson.
Well, seems we'll have to cut the tour short. Please feel free to explore. Just don't touch anything, for your own safety.
That's a head. What exactly is it you do, Miss Holmes?
I couldn't exactly give you a clear explanation, as I'm now on Scotland Yard's clock. However, if you're not doing anything at present, I could show you. Care to go on a bit of an adventure, Doctor?
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Hudson.
The Morning Post, Doctor.
Thank you.
If you're not too busy, Miss Holmes, I wonder if you could sort out a little matter of kinship for me.
Kinship. I dare say so, Mrs. Hudson. What appears to be the problem?
Well, I've been trying to figure it out. Now, if Sally Shaw is my 3rd cousin on my mother's side, which she is, then what relationship is her grandmother to my son? Naughty problem, I know.
Sally is your 3rd cousin once removed. That means that your great-grandmother was the sister to Mrs. Shaw's great-great-grandmother. Mrs. Shaw would thus have been 2nd cousin to your mother, as their grandmothers were sisters. So we go down the generations. Mrs. Shaw's grandmother would thus have been 2nd cousin once removed to you, and 2nd cousin twice removed to your son.
11 seconds.
Is that even right?
Afraid so.
Anything else I can help you with, dear Mrs. Hudson?
Oh, you two have fun.
Watson?
I know that look.
What look?
I'm gonna tease you with the riddle look.
They're not riddles, they're mental trials. And I don't have a look. But, since you brought it up...
I didn't.
A mental trial, my dear Watson. You are trapped in a small, unkempt valley, only a few hundred yards in length and less than that in width. You are surrounded almost entirely by stern cliffs that defeat your ability to climb. Some nefarious villain who wants you dead
Holmes?
has lit a fire at the far end, and the prevailing wind is blowing straight up the valley towards you. There's no source of water, there's no shelter. All you can depend on are the items you have on you. Pocket watch, revolver, notepad, pencil, pipe, tobacco, and matches. Can you, my dear Watson, formulate a plan that will keep you from roasting alive?
I can't climb anywhere.
No.
Could I shoot this villain?
Very well could, but that doesn't stop the fire.
I don't know, Holmes. I suppose I'm gonna get burnt alive.
Give up.
Yes. Fine. Do your thing.
With pleasure. The correct course of action was to set another fire a short way down from the unburnt end. Since the wind is blowing in a fixed direction, the new flame will be blown in the same direction. In its wake, the flame will leave burnt ground. I would thus be able to follow it onto the charred area, and when the larger flame arrived, it would be unable to get purchase in this space. Thus, I would have my own little island of safety.
From the flames, at least.
Well, yes, I suppose you could then shoot your villain. Well done, old boy.
Day off today. Fuck you! Boom! God, Holmes. No, don't worry, I don't need the cane. It's good for the leg. Still ringing. Persistent buggers. Wonder who it's for. Oh, direct line, Scotland Yard. Yes. Captivating reading. So is mine. I'll get it. Nothing better to do. Wonder who it's for. 221B. Ah, Lestrade. What? It's an emergency? Yes, I'll get her. Holmes, it's for you. Hello, Mrs. Hudson.
Welcome home, Doctor. How was your trip?
Oh, boring and uneventful. I loved it. So, tell me, how's our girl?
Oh, she hasn't come out of that room now for 6 days.
Ah,
I don't know what goes on in that head of hers.
I don't think you want to know. But tell me, has she said anything?
Well, I asked her what time she'd like to have a dinner, and she told me 8:30.
Ah,
Day after tomorrow.
Holmes, just back from the symposium, you'd never believe the luck I had at the tables. Ran into a few old mates. Bloody hell. Good God. What am I going to do with you, Holmes? So, which is it today? Morphine? Cocaine?
Cocaine, a 7% solution. Would you care to try it?
No! You know my constitution has not yet got over the Afghan campaign. I cannot afford to throw any more strain upon it.
I suspect you're right, Watson. I suppose that the influence is physically a bad one. I find it, however, so transcendentally stimulating and clarifying to the mind.
Holmes, Consider the cost. Your brain may, as you say, be aroused and excited, but it is a pathological and morbid process which involves increased tissue damage and can lead to a permanent weakness. You know too what a black market leaves upon you. Why should you, for the risk of a mere passing pleasure, risk the loss of those great powers in which you've been endowed? Remember, I speak to you not only as your friend, but as your doctor.
My mind rebels at stagnation. Give me problems, give me work, give me the most abstruse cryptogram or intricate analysis, and I am in my own proper atmosphere. I can dispense then with artificial stimulants. But I abhor the dull routine of existence. That is why I've chosen my own particular profession, or rather, created it, for I am the only one in the world.
A drugged-up detective?
The only unofficial consulting detective. When Scotland Yard is out of their depths, which is always, the matter is laid before me. I examine the data as an expert and pronounce a specialist opinion. I claim no credit in such cases, and my name figures in no newspaper. The work itself, the pleasure of finding a field for my own particular powers, is my highest reward. You know very well that the idea of putting a woman in Scotland Yard is useless. Hence, I make my own work. Speaking of which, I need a damn case.
All right. I've got one for you.
What?
One of your riddles.
They're not riddles, they're mental trials.
Fine, I've got a mental trial for you.
You've got one for me.
Think you can handle it?
Please.
A woman presents a man with some food. He duly eats it. As a direct and absolute consequence of eating it, he died. Had he not eaten it, his death would have been averted.
Poison.
No, food was perfectly pleasant, not the least bit toxic, nor did it convey any disease of ailment.
Was it stolen? Did someone then come looking for this food?
No, not stolen at all, or subject of mistaken identity. The man consumed the food successfully without any discomfort.
Rules out obstruction of the air passages.
In fact, he enjoyed it. His death was greatly delayed, however, the food he consumed on that specific occasion was solely responsible for his demise.
This is a trick.
It's not a trick, it's a riddle.
Mental trial.
Do you give up?
I didn't say that, Watson. Pray go ahead with your riddle.
Adam and Eve. He accepted the forbidden fruits from her, and in eating it earned the divine judgment of mortality. Had he not, he would have remained eternal.
Useless information.
What? Just like you didn't know that the Earth revolves around the sun? Are you sure that you just didn't know that because your educators didn't think it was necessary for and don't get upset, but a future lady?
Shut up, Watson.
But it's the solar system!
You say that we go round the sun. If we went round the moon, it would make not a penny worth of difference to me or my work. As for now, I'm going to try as quickly as I can to forget it.
It's the damn solar system!
Wow. That was tedious.
You know, it wouldn't kill you to go out to more functions like that.
I go out all the time.
I mean, not the way you do. I mean, go out like normal people.
You mean boring people?
They're not boring, all right? They're opera enthusiasts. I'm an opera enthusiast. Am I boring? Well, you know what I meant.
Were you expecting any post?
No, Mrs. Hudson must have brought it in.
Watson?
Hmm?
Listen.
That is ticking.
That's your professional opinion.
All right.
You tell me I have issues.
Oh, it's a souvenir. night. What the hell?
Have you seen anything like this before?
I've seen my fair share of bombs before, but nothing like this. Ah, look, rigged with dynamite right in the center.
With enough to demolish half of Baker Street.
God. Oh, look, a timer. And it's ticking. A 5x5 chessboard. A knight. I can likely disarm it.
No, don't touch it! This is skill. Whoever made this wouldn't be foolish enough to have it disarmed that easily. We have to play.
Play what exactly? You've got a death trap and a knight.
I'm thinking 25 places, 1 night. How much time?
2 minutes. 2 minutes to live. I'm getting a bloody drink.
I've got it.
What? A sequence.
Precisely. To move the knight in such a way that it can cross every square.
I don't mean to rush you.
You're not helping.
Dear Holmes, if this is the end, I just wanted to say I've thank for you, and even though you're a woman, that we 30 seconds. Oh my God. Well, that was fun.
Yes.
Holmes, I was being sarcastic. So we put a bloody bomb in our flat. It's Die Valkyrie, not die for real. Opera, fun. Bomb, not fun.
And they knew exactly who it was for.
Brilliant, though.
Thank you, Watson.
Well, I think I've had enough fun for one night.
Think of how upset Mrs. Hudson would have been.
Good evening, Miss Holmes. I trust my favorite crime-fighting doctor is there as well. Hello, Dr. Watson. Big fan of your work in Afghanistan. I hope you two appreciated my fan mail. I love reading about your adventures.
No thanks to my biographer.
Shh.
I felt it was time I sent you a little present as a token of my admiration for your interesting profession. You've come into my life quite a bit, you see, so I thought it was time I made my presence in yours. Glad you got the puzzle. Would have been such a shame for Scotland Yard to pry your burned corpses from the sea. Until next time.
Good God. A madman. Speaking of which,
Watson?
fine. I'll tell Mrs. Hudson to put on a pot of coffee.
The game, Watson, is on! Mrs. Hudson, who delivered this?
Bloody hell. I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
Ah, Watson. On the contrary, I needed to inform you on my latest discovery.
Would that happen to be about a man who put a bomb in our flat 2 weeks ago?
Precisely. On the table.
Professor James Moriarty. I've never heard of him.
Yes, that's the extraordinary thing about it. The man pervades London, and yet no one has heard of him. I tell you, Watson, in all seriousness, that if I could beat that man, if I could free society of him, I should feel that my own career has reached its summit. Between ourselves, the recent cases in which I've been assistance to have found his presence shadowed in nearly every dark corner of the criminal underworld.
Well, his career has been an extraordinary one. He's a man of good birth, excellent education, endowed by nature with a phenomenal faculty of mathematics. At the age of 21, he wrote a treatise on the
Binomial theorem, yes, which has had a European vogue. On the strength of it, he won a mathematical chair at one of our smaller universities. He had, to all appearance, a most brilliant career before him, but the man had hereditary tendencies of the most diabolical kind. He is the Napoleon of crime, Watson. He's the organizer of half that is evil and nearly all that is undetected in this great city. He's a genius, a philosopher, an abstract thinker. He has a brain of the first order. He sits motionless like a spider in the center of its web, but that web has 1,000 radiations, and he knows every quiver of each of them. He does little himself, he only plans, but his agents are numerous and splendidly organized. If there are crime to be done, a paper to be abstracted, we will say a house to be rifled, or a man to be removed, the word is passed to the professor, the matter is organized and carried out. The man is everywhere.
Good God, Holmes.
Watson?
Good morning.
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
Flattering to know I'm gossiped about. It's a dangerous habit, you know.
What's that?
Keeping a loaded firearm in the back of your trousers. Is this how you treat all guests?
Only the kind that put a time bomb in our flat.
Oh, you like that. If you wouldn't mind, Miss Holmes, could we speak in private?
Holmes, if you need me to stay.
It's quite all right, Watson. See to Mrs. Hudson, please.
You have less frontal development than I would have expected. Tell me, Miss Holmes, during my readings of your exploits, I can't help but notice that your companion writes you as a man.
My biographer can do as he pleases. I don't care for popularity.
Does it bother you that the world finds it easier to believe in your ingenious deductions than in your sex?
Have a seat. I can spare you 5 minutes if you have anything to say.
All that I have to say has already crossed your mind. This is where it gets a little inconvenient. You first crossed my path on the 4th of January. On the 23rd, you incommoded me. In the middle of February, I was seriously inconvenienced by you. By the end of March, I was absolutely hampered in my plans. And now, at the close of April, I find myself placed in such a position through your continual persecution that I am in positive danger of losing my liberty. The situation is becoming an impossible one. It seems we have ourselves a little problem.
I take it you have a suggestion?
Drop it, Miss Holmes. It is only out of respect for your craft that I do this in the most polite way I can.
Flatterer.
I'm quite sure that a woman of your intelligence can see that there is but one outcome to this affair. It is necessary that you should withdraw. You've worked things in such a fashion that we have but one resource. It has been an intellectual treat to me to see the way in which you have grappled with this affair, and I say, unaffectedly, that it would be grief to me should I be forced to take any extreme measure. You smile, ma'am, but I assure you, it really would.
I hate to inform you, Professor, but danger is a part of my trade.
This is not danger. It is inevitable destruction. You stand not in the way of merely an individual, but of a mighty organization that you, with all your cleverness, have been unable to comprehend. There is a darkness in you, I can tell. So it should give you insight into mine. Know that if you stand in my way one last time, I will bring such suffering upon you that Lucifer himself would weep. You and your friends.
I don't have friends.
You have one. Is that fear I see, Miss Holmes?
I fear that in the pleasure of this conversation, I am neglecting business of importance which awaits me elsewhere.
Very well. Seems a pity, but I have done what I could. I know every move of your game. It has been a duel between you and me, Miss Holmes. You hope to place me in the dock. I tell you, I will never stand in the dock. You hope to beat me. I assure you, you will never beat me. If you are clever enough to bring about my destruction, rest assured, I will do the same to you.
You have paid me several compliments, Mr. Moriarty. Let me pay you one in return when I say that if I were assured of the former eventuality, I would, in the interest of the public, cheerfully accept the latter.
Very well. Until next time. Send my regards to the doctor and the housekeeper.